Hello, everyone, and welcome to the coverage of the third annual Jeffrey Cranson Open. We are out at the beautiful, one-of-a-kind Meadowbrook Orchard. This event is brought to you by Disc Golf 978, and we are proud to represent here the greatest media team. And I am Simon Lizotte, joined by the one and only Kyle Moriarty. And we'll talk you through this round. How's it going, Kyle?
Oh, it's going awesome. Super pumped to be here. Excited to do some commentary on this. Got to give a huge shout out to a bunch of the tourney sponsors: DMH Electric, Sterling Street Brewing, the Fraser Family, Paragon Disc Golf, Stretches Pickles, Magnidyes, the Zephir Family. Look at that raging fire. We are ready to go. That fire symbolizes some of the scores that were laid down here. I came out, I shot it 11 down, a 1048 rated round one. Sponsored by Thought Space Athletics, Disc Golf 978, and Disc Golf Bra.
11 under is definitely a solid round out there. We actually got to play together round one. This is round two and the final round of this event. And then we have Marky Chap, ex-touring pro, just over 1,000 rated. And then we have Rhode Island's own, Chace.
Quite an accomplishment being Rhode Island and being 10-10 rated when your state has 3 courses. So that's going to bring us to hole number 1 here at the beautiful Meadowbrook Orchard. Got this beautiful walk up, this incredible landscaping, 505 feet, par 4. You got this awesome stoned, pavered launch pad. All of the apple trees that you see here are out of bounds, so the player can get as aggressive as they'd like, but bring in as much danger as they'd like as well. The cornfield that we're approaching behind the basket is out of bounds, so the player can play for the easy birdie, or you might see some players get a little bit more aggressive here.
We're playing here in late October, and the weather we were facing was forecasted to be really bad. We kind of got a bit lucky on the second round, and we'll start off in a bit of a drizzle, but it'll get nicer and nicer throughout the round. It is pretty cold. We're all bundled up nicely and ready for blast off. Final round, let's go.
Yeah, definitely feeling it here, round number 2 in these cold New England days, that bone chilling. Stepped up with a chain smusher destroyer, put it in a nice safe spot. Gonna have about 80, 90 feet to the basket.
Yeah, this course is pretty phenomenal because you're playing in a unique environment through apple orchards, cornfields, wide open shots, and then 9 of the holes will actually go deep dive into the woods. It's a very well-rounded course. It's still pretty fresh and new. I think only a couple years old. And I think Marky is the 2-time defending champion of this event, unbeaten on this track.
Yeah,
so
he's undefeated. Every tournament that he's played in here, he has won. And you see why he threw a good shot, but I know you were talking about it. You kind of skated over yourself. You definitely just put it deep of the pin.
Yeah, this hole, I kind of enjoyed this in the winter, which I've never played like this, that you could actually see the basket through the trees, because I only play this usually in the nice weather. And you have no sight of where the basket is, so got a little peek at it and might as well go full send because hard to go long on a 505-foot hole.
Yeah, and it is uphill as well. As you can kind of see as our walk, you see the nice rolling grassy fairway here. We got Harry Chace from probably around that 85, 90-foot mark, just pitching up with the P2. Not quite sure he was trying to get too aggressive on that. Just guarantee the easy birdie.
Yeah, it's a fun track, especially the par 4s. Some of them are very attackable, and we might see a couple or handful of eagle chances this round.
Yeah, so for those people at home that are watching that may not know your bag to every disc, what did you throw, Simon?
I throw the 14 speeds, the big fat rims. We have the Dimension. And I switch to the Delirium every now and then. But shout out Marky for that sweet eagle run we just had.
Yep. Here you go. Being deep behind the basket. That is such a rare thing to see. You typical seeing players that are in around that 1,000 rated player becoming 80 to 90 feet short. Whereas you are that 1040 rated player and you're going deep and draining the putt.
Throwing far has always been one of my big advantages, even on tour. But I've actually never eagled this hole prior to this tournament, and I got it both rounds. So starting your round with an eagle, wow, we even got a little replay.
Yeah, a little Paragon disc golf, sponsored back, slow-mo putt. Look at that.
Love it.
Look at that beautiful foliage here in Massachusetts in that background. Kind of weird seeing growing corn and foliage.
That's true.
But, you know, that's one of the beauties you get here at Meadowbrook Orchard. We got Harry and Chappie just tapping in for their birdies. Not a bad start.
No, 5 under on a hole. Nothing to be ashamed of on that one. Simon, should I say Simon or should I say me? I'm not sure, but I just tied the lead. And welcome to hole 2. The last hole in the Open for now. After this, we take a dive into the woods. And this is a 405-foot par 3. You can go straight at it. You can throw a wide hyzer. There's OB long that comes into play, OB right that comes into play. But this one's all about distance control. And for me, I want to make sure to throw it real high and wide to give the disc some time to swing in, and don't go too far for me.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that you're throwing that shot so committed. You know the angle you want it to come out and release out of your hand. You know, when I watched that shot, I was like, man, I think that's got too much hyzer on it. And it just held the whole way, which is beautiful. I came out with a little less committed shot with the kind of thinking the tee pad was a little bit more slick. Marky Chap, I think, is he also throwing a time lapse?
Was he throwing a time lapse here or a destroyer? I am not sure. It might have been a time lapse.
I know he threw that a couple of times. He throws a white destroyer he got from Abel Virgile, and he throws that time lapse, which is also white. Harry stepping up here, throwing, I'm assuming a DD3.
Yeah, Harry's got all the power in the world, just throwing a comfortable hyzer. A 400-foot hyzer, you know, if you have that shot, you know distance is not one of your worries.
Yeah, you can see a quick little image of Dave, the owner there of Meadowbrook. He was actually caddying for me for this round. You can see him standing there, giving me that disapproving look of, that was a bad layup, and your drive landed over there. What are you doing?
Yeah, probably one of my least favorite things of my job is to kind of fluff a layup and leave myself this little sketchy 25-footer. But you know what? Early in the round, sometimes 25-footers are exactly what you need to get the confidence going. You don't want it for par necessarily, but
yes,
those putts are the confidence boosters and kind of the key moments in your early round.
Yeah, you get that feeling of confidence and that you're able to go at these putts and not be worried. It can definitely push your round over the edge to something great, or if you're missing them, it becomes one of the most frustrating rounds you ever play. You're stepping up to go 3 down through 2 holes, connected.
Yeah, not bad. A little lower than I would like, but elevated basket. We weren't dealing with much wind this round, but there was some swirliness around this elevated basket, so I'll take low over high on that putt.
Yeah, and the design of this hole is the challenge of the basket up on these apple crates, where if that wind is whipping, that makes that putt almost impossible unless you have the perfect angle. If you're putting into that basket with a headwind, oof, been there, done that, it's not fun.
It is fun, but not if you're playing for money.
That's a good correction, yes.
Couple pars here. Simon just took the lead.
Simon's in the lead. Big surprise. Hole number 3, we've got a 300-foot hallway through the woods. Welcome to the woods at Meadowbrook here. This hole is probably, I would say, one of the most rewarding twos you can find here because you have to throw either disc that's flying on this straight line on a frozen rope the entire way, or kind of let it kind of maneuver and fly through some lines. There's plenty of options for the players. I think we're going to see a couple shots that trying to hit that dead straight line. What are you throwing here, Simon? What are you looking at?
Yeah, it's 350 feet, and the main gap you need to hit is about 250 feet down the fairway. So this is a really tricky one. This was an early release. I throw a fairway driver just to make sure I don't have to throw too hard and still kind of get that distance, because 350 with all those trees is definitely no joke. It's a bit of a throw and hope for me. I'm throwing it like in the general direction of the basket and kind of hope to poke through. There is a gap, but it's no more than 20 feet wide at 250 feet away. Like, you got to throw it, like you said, a frozen rope shot. Are we getting a replay from the back view here?
Interesting. The catch cam here is following that disc fly through. A couple of those trees you got to miss, and that ends up right around 40 feet from the basket.
Going long is a bit rare on this one.
Yes, it's it's just one of those holes where I feel very comfortable throwing a committed line. You know, Marky and I have similar power. He's throwing a Votum. I threw a T-Bird. His Votum had a little bit more turn to it. My T-Bird held straight. Harry's stepping up. I believe that's that Witness Me FD. Just kind of releases a little early, and he's pinched off in this left side.
Yeah, I was standing right behind him for this upshot, and he nailed that forehand gap and had it on a perfect angle, good height, perfect control. That was, I was very impressed with that upshot.
Yeah, that definitely shows Harry's ultimate background there. That little step out, lean out, forehand, let it hit that angle and slowly pan and hit flat. It's like you're just kind of pitching up, putting a little bit on it.
Yeah, I can't help myself but to give it little runs from all over the greens. I tell myself sometimes to lay up, but then I'm lining it up and I'm like, why would I ever lay up?
Yeah, you know, that everybody's personality comes through when you're playing disc golf, and you're a very timid and soft-spoken man, but on the course you are a very aggressive person.
My risk reward is slightly out of whack.
Yeah. All gas, no brakes.
You had a chance there to tie it back up, kind of fluffed that putt a bit. How's your putting feeling at this point?
Yeah, so I've, had some pretty big putts the first round. There's, couple putts that have been in my head a little bit. I haven't had any spit outs here, so still feeling pretty good, but just that little bit of wind, a little bit of unsure footing, and not quite committing, because I know, all right, well, this putt right here is big. It'd be to tie Simon back up, and just letting that pressure get to me instead of focusing on the putt.
Wow, so early in the round already thinking scores. Hey. Rookie mistake, but that's okay. Hole 4. Shortest hole so far, 279, par 3. This hole gets tricky because it's a blind shot, plus there's a couple gaps you can go for. You kind of have to make a choice off the tee, and then it's all about committing to your line, because this one's easy to screw up. There's an inside gap, there's a wide gap, and then there's even like an in-between gap. And in round 1, I tried the wide gap unsuccessfully, so I told myself, let it go a bit earlier, try that inside route. There's like 1 or 2 trees to miss, and once you miss those, it's kind of a straight shot to the basket. Just a mid-range.
So you missed them quite well right there.
Pretty happy with that. When you're first on the tee and you're in the lead by 1 stroke, it's really about setting the tone.
Yeah, I saw that shot. I knew you were close. I feel comfortable going kind of the middle line where you're still throwing a committed power hyzer. This is a new crux from Thought Space I'm throwing on and really digging it and just really pushing that the back tree line, and I hit the bottom of the basket. So I know your shot didn't do that, but mine did.
Yeah, we didn't hear that from the tee. That's a nice little surprise. The perks of commentating.
Yeah. Dan found me after the round and gave me a little, hey, that shot hit the basket.
Oh, you knew already. Okay.
Yeah. Dan Snyder, the catch cam, gave me that inside information. Chappie kind of hit a tree that you missed on that inside line. Harry's getting up there, right on that circle's edge, maybe possibly 25 feet.
Yeah, the next 8 holes will all be in the woods, and, the 3 strokes we're separated right now are nothing. There's easy stroke swings on each of these holes, even though they're not long holes, but birdie, bogey, easily possible on any of these holes.
You can see where Marky was. He very easily could have hit another tree and chopped down and had a very long putt for 4, but he threw a great upshot with that touch forehand with a zone. A little too much want from Harry.
Yeah, I think he actually thought that was probably in. That's one of And again, one of the worst feelings is if a putt, you think that's in, and then you hear that sound we call dread, the clonk of the top band. I have a little tap in for birdie, which is nice on that hole. Again, that's a hole I don't birdie all the time.
No, for being more of just a hyzer hole, it definitely has its little quirkiness to it for sure. This is to get back onto the birdie train for me. And there we are. And then we'll see some tap-ins from Marky and Harry. So we're kind of separating ourselves a little bit from Marky and Harry, but they're not out of it. That is for sure.
No, but the woods are really, really deciding on this course because the open holes, there's less room for error.
Yeah. Speaking of less room for error, hole 5, 245 feet, par 3. This feels like a must-get to, but it is the hardest shot in disc golf is straight with OB right behind the basket, so you can't throw it too hard. So there's trouble behind, and if you are not throwing a pure line, you're gonna get off the fairway, and it's gonna be a very difficult too. Do you remember what you threw here?
Yeah, I'm throwing a putter, a proxy, just kind of a straight flying disc that I want to make sure I hit the initial gap and then kind of let it float to the basket. And another early release for me. Felt really uncommitted. Got super lucky on that.
Worst disc golfer ever.
Yeah.
Got super lucky on that early tree kick that redirected me. A tree direct.
Yeah.
Right back into the edge of circle 1 and left me actually a chance for birdie, which I totally didn't deserve. And I knew in my position, I felt a bit embarrassed.
You know, seeing your reaction right off of the tee box after you threw it, the look back said it all.
Yeah.
Everybody there that we knew, like, oh yeah, you got away with it. And that's when, you know, as a player, you're stepping up and you throw a bad shot, but you still get a lucky break. You know you're going to have a good day. Marky threw a great shot there with his praxis. Getting up there just inside the circle. I mean, just inside the bullseye, not the circle.
Yeah, he actually took the route that Drone took, which is through those 2 trees right there. And that's kind of the gap you got to go for. It looks like the straight gap is more available, but for right-hand, backhand, that tiny little split gap is actually the more common hit gap, at least for me.
Yeah, Harry's stepping up, throwing another nice putter shot, getting it out there. He's going to be on that circle's edge.
Yeah, after the birdie on 1, Harry's kind of stalling at par, and he needs to get something going. So this 60-footer would be a good Kickstarter to the round.
Mm.
Maybe he's dealing with cold hands. He keeps putting his hand in his pocket after he throws. So it was cold out there and wet, and it's tough over 2 rounds to keep your body and hands warm.
Very nice bonus birdie there, Simon.
Yep, disc golf gods were on my side on this one, and I knew you were facing a similar putt, and me making that putt was definitely, in the situation we're both in right now, That was a good one to hit.
And I love that angle that we just had there from the catch cam to see that putt, how we really couldn't see your body, so you knew that you had to reach around that nice big pine, so you didn't have a clean putt. Just a little lack of commitment getting it on the pole, and it slid out. Definitely a putt that I missed, not the basket's fault.
Yeah, I got actually double lucky on this hole because I remember in round 1 I had a similar putt that I missed.
Yes.
So I got to actually have a practice run and then got to just adjust my putt. And yeah, with the lucky kick and the lucky position to have that putt twice in one day. Happy to make that. Welcome to hole 6, 265, par 3. The easiest shot in disc golf. Welcome everyone. A straight tunnel shot. Low ceiling, about 25 feet left and right, and easy to kick off the fairway on this one. You gotta throw something straight and flat and hard because you don't have much height to work with. I'm choosing just a straight mid-range, try to give it a little hyzer release just to really commit to hit that initial gap and have it kind of flatten out to straight, and pretty stoked with that shot. Anytime you hit this gap, you don't really care how far your putt is as long as you have a putt.
Yeah, no, this hole like you said earlier, it's all about the commitment and throwing something that's committed, whether you're going with a mid-range or a putter. You can't be caught on an in-between shot here. You know, Marky threw a Praxis. I'm throwing a Praxis, and I also threw it committed and drove it low and let that ground play push it straight forward. This is one of my favorite holes on the property.
Yeah, I'm always a fan of holes where you can see the basket. It's a straight tunnel gap. And, oh, that little branch on the ground got you, but it probably still at least 2 or 3 feet, which can make a big difference.
Yeah, especially, going, the last hole with that little shaky putt they just missed from just inside the circle. Harry pulled off a little bit to the right side. Marky faking us all out that he's going to re-tee for some reason.
Yeah, Marky's definitely still in it. Harry needs to get on a heater now. Probably even trying to throw this in. Decent bid, actually.
Yep, and, taking a 3 on this hole is not the worst thing. A 2 is ideal. 3 is pretty good. 4 is really bad.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. This is one of those holes where not everyone's going to 2 it. A 2 would be awesome, but a 3 is kind of, when you're going through in your head, this hole, getting a 3 here is pretty good.
That was a nice putt, dead center. Does it matter to you where your putt hits the basket?
I want to be on the pole.
Yeah.
But it's unfortunate because sometimes when you're hitting the pole, they spit right back.
Yeah, your putt has been coming all day, really. You didn't miss many putts round 1. I don't think any, really. You shot 11 down, and I think all your putts were on the pole where you want it.
Yeah. It's, when I'm on, it's try to be on the pole because, the center of the target. I don't know what else you should aim for. But you connect on your birdie putt as well. And Harry will tap it on in.
It's a lot of pars in a row.
Yeah, you can see in his demeanor, he's definitely feeling that frustration. Bringing us to hole 7, 276 feet. This is one of the more signature greens on the course. You have that beautiful log pile that some players are throwing over. The drone's flying more of the forehand friendly for a right-handed player. Over that rock wall is out of bounds. We're going to see some really fun lines on this hole.
Or some lucky lines.
It's still fun.
It's very fun.
Or fun. It's fun. Look at that. You're figuring out, okay, I know where I am. I'm throwing that Praxis again. This is the 3rd hole in a row I'm throwing this Praxis. It's kind of my workhorse here. Stepping up, throwing a committed shot, and letting it just slowly turn to the basket.
That's textbook right there. Yeah, you're actually the first player I've seen take that line, and I think I'm inspired, and that's my line from now on as well. Thank you.
Interesting, because the line like this, you're flexing towards that OB.
Yeah.
Marky checks up just fine. He's right there. But if you kind of start overcooking that line, you find the out of bounds easy.
Yeah, you really have to have a lot of angle control and trust in your disc if you're going to turn something towards OB and just trust that it comes back. Like Harry did here, and that looks like it's shaping up perfectly.
Beautiful shot.
Making that hole look easy.
Yeah, we did well here. I remember stepping up here like, wow, look at us. Bunch of professionals.
Wow, Marky, the classic little push putt, and he just squeezes it in low right side.
Like I said, a bunch of professionals.
Who needs chains? Who needs chains? Yeah. I do, definitely.
Yeah, they're a good thing. Let's keep the chains on the basket.
Harry to get back on the board. Keep himself in the conversation.
There we go.
That was just a tap-in.
Yeah, hopefully, a hole like this really restarts his round, gets him going, gets him feeling the birdies again. And then that drop in, too, for me, is a very nice thing as well.
Stress-free.
Yeah, that's the best kind of putt.
Stress-free birdies can be nice. Hole 8, definitely not a stress-free kind of hole. It's 315, and this is a bender. Hard left to right. Lots of tree to miss. This is one of the holes where I would request 1 or 2 trees to actually go for there to be a more clean line. Have not seen many birdies on this one yet, but There's a forehand play. There's kind of a backhand turnover. You got to get so far to the right. It's almost deceiving how far you got to get the disc right. So you got to get it high. You got to get it turned over. And I instantly threw this too low. Knew it wasn't committed. Hit the tree in the middle. The one tree to miss.
Yeah, and I feel like this hole baits you into becoming uncommitted on a shot because you're basically aiming right at that really big tree right in the center and just hoping you miss it. It's almost perfectly squared away. I went with a forehand line, thought I nailed it, and there's still a tree in the way.
Yeah, I remember I loved your line at this, and I loved like kind of early flex and then something really overstable that just hooks right high. I really like that approach, but that's not a shot that I'm really comfortable throwing, so I try to throw the floater.
Yep.
Marky does the common mistake and going a bit, pushing it long, not enough turn, and this looks really good. I think we just heard a tree, a late kick. And that's what happens on this hole. It's kind of you throw it up there, turn it, and then you wait to not hear that sound of the clonk.
Hopefully, Simon, if all goes to plan, we will not be playing this version of the hole next year.
Oh yeah, it's in the works of a redesign, which I'm looking forward to. I already saw some rough shapes out there, and
How do you even hit that tree?
Simon Lizotte. After a handful of birdies in a row, I'm just realizing at 16 under right now, and left myself there a downhill long look with OB in the back for par. Not what I'm looking for, with Kyle only 2 back.
No, where you landed, it's a downhill green, and that OB line is certainly not far from the basket. Step up with a nice little touch, Annie, soft harp, forehand approach, which kind of been leaning on that for years now, so very comfortable hitting tight gaps with that shot. Harry doing about the same thing, except with a tactic. What's it right there? And you can see it. He's frustrated. His tee shot definitely deserved something a little bit better than where that was.
Get up, Marky. This putt would have been huge for him.
That really would have, because that would have put him just on my heels, bringing him to 12.
Just a little 50-footer downhill.
Oh, casual. Real casual. That was
That was definitely one where I was, okay, it's going to be hard to not win.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're hitting putts like that, 50-foot downhill, looking directly at OB.
Yeah, shout out to my new putters, the Pickles. I'm still putting with the prototypes, and man, I'm loving them. I put them on a line, and it seems like they just want to glide to the chains. So I've been having a great time with these.
Is there a release date on those yet?
No, not yet.
Come on, I'm trying to get the inside information here to blow this video up.
Sorry, not right now. Oh, what a good-looking putt, though. I'm so happy I saved that par, because you know what? If you're having fun and a good round, what ruins that? A bogey. Yeah. I was not prepared mentally for a bogey.
No, especially with the reaction you had on your second shot and where to hit a tree. You were surprised and shocked. So, par save, par for me, par for Mark, and par for the Chace man.
Oh, yeah, that feeling that when you think you might get a stroke and then someone throws in a 50-footer on you. Oh, I feel that all the time on tour, man. Those guys, it never ends.
Yeah, but it's one of those few things where at least I know, we all know who we're going against. So it's like, yeah, I mean, the dude's 1040 something rated, so you gotta expect him to hit the putts. Hole number 9, 399 feet, uphill par 4. There's 2 lines. We are the drone's flying the most common line here, gone straight up the basket through a nice tight tunnel shot. There is a 3-card backup here, or we were the 3rd card here, so we had a nice long wait here, getting everything kind of cooling down, doing some heat checks on some people, seeing how we're doing, get to check in with some friends. This is such a fun hole because it lets the player get as aggressive as they want. You're throwing another dimension here, right?
Yeah, I'm going full send, trying to get an eagle look and just try to commit again. It's all about that initial gap for me. Just make sure I hit that. That's my commitment point. And that was just a bit wide or just a bit underturned. Either adjustment would have worked.
Depending on how you look at it.
but that kicked me way over to the right, and which is the right side is where you don't want to be.
No. Left side is very forgiving. There's some nice lines and nice gaps over there. That right side, still a little underdeveloped. A lot of brush piles and some vines. I went with a construct, speed 10, just playing up the middle, trying to play for that par 3, especially, or for the birdie 3, especially after seeing your kick. Mark, I think he threw a destroyer there, getting a little more aggressive. Another beautiful shot from Harry.
Yeah, Harry finally showcasing what he can do. That's a laser. That's almost on the edge of circle 1. That's a look for eagle. This hole, man, a 2 is special.
Yeah, it's just one of those holes that you're not really thinking about the 2, but it's there. It's in the back of your mind, and it can bait you into thinking about it. Like, yeah, let's really go for it here. And for someone like Harry, who's been having a slow round, that 2 can truly make a huge difference.
Yeah, I was looking over the shot for a while, trying to find a way to give myself a putt. And I had one of the famous ghost trees, the one tree you can't see, but there's always another tree to hit.
Yeah, this is just a pitch up 50-50 ball. Not really getting too aggressive, but securing the 3. If it goes in, awesome.
Yeah, you like that kind of low-speed hyzer run.
Yes. Yeah, try to put as little on the disc and spin and rotation. Just let it kind of sit on the ground.
Yeah. Oh, that was an inch. Oh, in Harry's situation, sometimes you wish you would just miss by a bit more.
Yeah.
Because that's the worst feeling if you're giving it such a good bid and then really 1 centimeter was off. Like, give me a break. Wow, Marky was actually just outside the circle, so he was allowed to jump at that. And
yep.
Shout out, one of the best jump putters in Mass.
He truly is, especially in that just outside the circle. He is aggressive, and he puts it right on it. His putt's usually either in the basket or hitting the pole.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, sums up the front 9 as Harry taps in for birdie after just missing the eagle putt.
That's right. Nice birdie.
Everything's still open. We have 2 more wooded holes, and then we're back in the open, where OB comes into play, the wind will come into play, the cold will come into play, and Marky and Harry, it's not over till it's over.
No, you can see that, you've got 2 strokes on me for this round, so it's only 1 stroke total, and then I've got 2 strokes on Chappy for this round. Then huge shout-outs to the camera operators, Dan Snyder on the catch cam, and Raivis Markons-Craig on the T-box cam.
I shot 7 down, kind of shredding it.
Yeah, 7 through the front 9, so it's really difficult to beat someone who's 7 down through 9 holes.
All right, everyone, like and subscribe. Shout out to the greatest media team. See you on the back 9. Ching.